Shakalak. Boom shakalak. Boom shakalak. What's up, big
What's
dog?
going on?
Well, if you're jumping in, I'm gonna have to put on headphones.
So I got somebody that's gonna be coming in. I think Aaron's gonna be coming in too.
Yeah?
Maybe John.
Sweet.
So and fellow Gordon had a pretty intense conversation last night about makings of the universe.
Can you hear me now?
So we brought up Gamma Alpha Pi.
Yeah?
So let me get him to get on. I already invited him to the server. Gordon, got like 3 minutes. Yeah, sorry I haven't really been on. Life's been hectic lately.
It's
Last
all
couple of months.
part of it, man. Summer's intense. How you doing?
Yeah. I started a new job. I'm back in Oklahoma,
Yeah? How's that going?
making money. Easy money.
Making money. So what do you find yourself
Yeah.
doing to make money?
Well, Steve got me on his company. I'm working for a data center,
Fancy.
running fiber.
Fancy. So you're doing
Hmm.
ISP fiber?
Yeah,
It's not too bad. A lot of rules, but
I
it's
want
not
to
too
learn
bad.
more. Yeah, I want to
There's
learn more though.
there's a ridiculous amount to learn, man. It is telecom is endless.
Yeah. So right now they've been just kind of teaching me how everything runs. They've taught me a little bit about like the server racks. Mainly, it's just pulling and QC fiber.
Yeah. Are you guys lacing?
What's up?
When you're putting the fiber on the overhead racks, do you have to lace it in?
Oh no, no, we're straight.
That's handy.
Technically, technically not really supposed to talk too much, but
Yeah, that's pretty common.
I don't really know when to talk about it. Once, once I bored, I already signed an NDA saying I can't say who I'm working for, or the specifications of everything,
Sure.
which is kind of cool. It makes me feel like some kind of top secret, you know?
That's pretty common in telecom.
But,
The coolest jobs you work on, you can't talk about.
right. Hopefully, we'll get some more people in here. I already reminded Aaron to get in here. He said he's going to
Aaron.
7 o'clock. Guaranteed. Father, Aaron.
Yeah, I ain't seen him in a minute. Let's me see. Hello. I can see that you're talking, but I can't hear you. There's something wrong with my setup. Oh, now I can't hear anybody. Fantastic.
Released a new season.
You released a new season of what?
Rocket League.
Ah, I see. You guys all Rocket League connoisseurs?
Well, they are. I've been trying to learn, but I suck at it.
It seems like a fairly intense game. Seems like the learning curve is going to be pretty steep on that one.
Yeah. Well, do we have a topic for today?
I do. So tonight, verse Isaiah 58:6, and the topic: discovering and living your life's purpose.
That's a fun one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, are we gonna go Viktor Frankl here?
Viktor Frankl. And what do you mean by that?
Man's search for meaning.
Man's search for meaning. Kind of. It's some of the same ideas. So, I've taken Man's Search for Meaning among many, many, many other works of literature and tried to compile them into a singular source. Created a challenge coin, uh, which is a touchstone to help you map your own ideas about the world, the history, and your own future. And then I created another book I call the Book of the Brother, which is collections from various religious traditions, though I'm not going to try and hide it. Christianity is the most central. Man's Search for Meaning has definitely played some influence, but there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of other books that have contributed to the ideas that I've curated therein. There's a third book called Noscite Ipsum, it's Latin for Know Thyself. The purpose of Noscite Ipsum is a survey, it's a questionnaire for you to better understand yourself. There's three primary tenets of the fraternity are love, strength, and vision. Each one of those is divided into 5 primary tenets, each with 3 sub-aspects. So to start with going through each one of those 45, determining where you are now and where you want to be and what where you want to be looks like. And then a little bit deeper analysis of your past, where you come from, who you are, and who you want to be. And then it helps you articulate that fairly succinctly. Which seems like a relatively inane exercise for someone that's done it before. But for somebody that has never even considered it, it can be extremely powerful. So generally the format is
Seems
Sunday.
very Jungian.
It is. Jung has definitely played some... he's definitely had an influence on me. Jung, Nietzsche, even Freud to some extent. I tend to agree with Nietzsche about Freud, but Jung has definitely...
I mean, the thing with Freud is like there's so much that Freud, like talked about that ended up just becoming like fact and psychology that we just focus on the weird shit that he talked about. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, but everyone knows that. All the other stuff that he talked about, which, you know, was very influential upon the entire field of psychology.
Yeah, Freud was a lot of what Freud did was just be radically honest about himself with himself. So a lot of his understandings, the deeper ones, were really, I would say, impartations of his own internal workings on others, if that makes any sense. So while in a fundamental sense or foundational sense, his insights were true about human understanding when it gets to the finite analysis, finite elemental analysis, that he was looking to perform a lot of the stuff he was projecting his own internals on others. But by his being radically honest and very, very naked about the whole thing, we were able to understand ourselves. Some people use that for tremendous good, Jung and others. Some people use that for tremendous manipulation, Bernays and others. But he was still, either way, cocaine fueled and all, he was still a pioneer.
Yeah, I mean, Bernays took everything that, Freud taught and used it in order to push propaganda in the modern marketing that we have.
Modern politics, modern marketing, propaganda by Edward Bernays, crystallizing public opinion by Edward Bernays, used extensively by the mustache folks in Eastern Europe. Uh, but he wasn't wrong.
I mean, used extensively by America.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's used extensively by all of every government since, and most corporations since. They're still running the
Yep.
same playbook. If you want to get good and pissed off, read Propaganda by Edward Bernays. He's not wrong, but it's going to piss you off real good, pretty quickly.
Oh, I've read it. Yep.
Good for you. You a reader?
Oh, I read a ton of stuff.
Good. It's
He's not. He reads a lot. Every time we get into a conversation like this, he's always bringing up, "Oh, you should read this. You should read that. Or you should watch this. You should watch that."
nice. It's good. If you take in a lot of information, it helps you with perspective. Reading gives you access to the mind of the author. It helps you learn how to think in a different way. It helps you learn how to think. It's why the classics are so important. Plato's Republic, etc. You should really read them. They help you build a foundation to be able to think, to actually think, and shows you how other great thinkers have thought. Dostoevsky, uh, Jung,
Yeah, I mean, Dostoevsky, Leo Tolstoy,
Tolstoy,
all the,
Solzhenitsyn in the Russian tradition.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thoreau.
yeah, the, Russian existentialism is some of my favorite.
It's hard to not. They're turgid as hell, but they're also deeply insightful. And their insights aren't limited. They're generally not just to the individual, but the human condition. Their methodology of telling stories is pretty incredible.
Have
But
you read The Moviegoer by by Percy?
I have not.
Okay, so that is a like very Soviet, like Russian existentialist style novel,
Yeah,
but it's written about existential journey in New Orleans during Mardi Gras in the 60s.
sounds intense. What's the
Oh, it's a
perspective?
great book. I mean, it's pretty much just I'm trying to remember the core like story of it, but it's a guy that is going through the society of New Orleans in the 60s during Mardi Gras having existential crisis.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's probably the best book that he wrote. I mean, I'm assuming you read Confederacy of Dunces.
I have.
Yep. Then you would probably like the book. It's definitely a good book. I mean, as far as like Russian existentialism goes, Tolstoy's The Death of Ivan Ilyich. I mean, that book will definitely make you like rethink your purpose in life. It shows like how little other people actually think of you.
Yeah, yeah. One of my greatest, most of my friends are old. My wife makes fun of me for having old men friends. But one of the greatest things I learned from them, they told me when you're 40, you realize that all that time you spent worried about what people think of you was a waste of time because they didn't really care. And then when you're 60, you realize they were never really thinking about you in the first place. When you're 80, you realize it never
Yep.
mattered. Yeah, a lot of people attribute Hamlin's razor, never attribute to malice what can be explained by ignorance. They're not out to get you. They don't care. You don't even register. You're persona non grata, non de plume. Doesn't matter. You don't exist. Outside of the interaction, you stop existing. That's just it. It's not personal. Live your life. Go live your life. All right, we're
Yep.
7:12 here. Let's fire up and get started. From the Book of the Coin, Isaiah, probably my favorite Bible verse, one that lights me up the most, anyways. Isaiah 58 and 6. Is this not the fast that I chose? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and to bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see the naked, to cover him, and not to hide yourself from your own flesh? Then shall your light break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up speedily. Your righteousness shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Context: Isaiah is addressing the hypocrisy of the Israelites who were performing outward acts of fasting but neglecting the true spiritual and social implications of this practice. Breakdown: true fasting refers to the deeper form of fasting that involves more than just abstaining from food. It involves addressing the needs of others and seeking justice. Free the wrongly imprisoned. This calls for advocating for the rights of the oppressed and working for the release of those who have been unjustly imprisoned. Lightening the burden of those who work for you. This encourages treating workers fairly and ensuring that they have a reasonable working condition. Let the oppressed go free. This calls for the standing up against injustice and oppression and working to liberate those who are suffering. Remove the chains that bind people. This refers to breaking down the barriers that limit people's freedom and potential. Practical applications. Address social injustice. Work to address the issues of injustice and oppression in your community. Advocate for the oppressed. Speak out for the rights of those who are being mistreated. Support fair labor practices. Promote fair wages and working conditions for all. Help those in need. Provide assistance to those who are struggling or in need. Seek justice. Strive for justice in all aspects of your life. Key takeaways. True fasting involves more than just abstaining from food. It involves addressing the needs of others and seeking justice. We should use our position and our influence to help those who are oppressed. Additional thoughts. This passage challenges us to examine our own hearts and ask, is the fasting truly meaningful? By practicing the kind of fasting described in this passage, we can make a positive difference in the world. Any thoughts, additions, takeaways, contradictions? What do you think, gentlemen?
Oh, so what you said about them basically fasting for just the idea of fasting and not for the general idea of doing good for their community. I
Yep.
see that a lot in modern times where people will give to their community just to make themselves seem like the better person because, oh, I gave this, or uh, basing a debt that somebody has to you off of, well, I did this for you.
Yep. They're not helping just to help,
If
they're
that makes
helping for
sense.
something in
Like
return.
I had your back that one time. Right. Like that one friend that says, well, I did this for you 2 years ago. Why aren't you doing this for me now?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Whereas true companionship, it means doing the thing that you know the other person needs you to do in order to help them and that's it. Which goes both ways at the same time. I can understand. But if you don't have the intention of helping in the first stance, then how can you have them to have the intention of helping the second?
You get what you give, model what you want, do unto others as you would have others do unto you.
The golden rule.
The golden rule. Love your neighbor as yourself. So, have either of you ever fasted? Like conventional
Yep.
fasting?
Depends on I mean, like fasting off of food? No, I'm too skinny for that. Fasting off of alcohol? Yes. Fasting
So,
off of nicotine? Yes.
I've, so I've done the Upton Sinclair style fasting,
yeah.
which is essentially quit eating, and then day 3 is the ravenous hunger. But once you get past the ravenous hunger, your body quits wanting. So generally, I'll go about 6 days without eating.
Wow. That's impressive. Day 3 is the monster. Day 1 can be a monster, but day 3 is a monster for real. You learn some stuff about yourself, don't you?
Oh yeah, I mean your brain essentially just starts eating part of your neural pathways, is what your body starts consuming, and that's why you reach like a higher seemingly sense of enlightenment.
You get a little high because you're digesting your own brain.
Yep.
Yeah. I was talking about all the rationalization and all the nonsense that your body comes up with trying to justify doing what it wants to do. How much influence it has the first time you try, and what bringing your body under your own influence is like. This is really talking about the extension of that. Not that bringing your own body under your will is easy. It's not. It is necessary, physically, mentally, spiritually. And once you've accomplished that, and you can accomplish it at will, you have tremendous power. It gives you tremendous power to be able to bring your body into submission. But this isn't just bringing your body into submission. He's talking about bringing your spirit into submission. Doing the hard things in life for no reward, because they're the right thing to do.
Which can be said for more than just food. I mean, you can use that to quit drugs. I mean, you quit drugs cold turkey. Yeah, it sucks. You have withdrawals. But in the end, you're thankful that you did it because now you're a better person for it.
Indeed. Indeed.
Same with any addictions.
Yeah.
It was good or bad. I mean, if you're addicted to intelligence, take a break from that, and when you come back to it, you have a new mindset or a different approach getting intelligent.
Also, Luciferian intelligence. Not sure if you ever heard that term. That was one of Lucifer's greatest sins, was his own pride and his own intelligence. It's extremely tempting.
And who was that?
Lucifer, the devil,
Who was that?
angel cast out of
Lucifer.
heaven, the light bringer.
We were talking about last night how
Yeah.
Cain is cursed with his intelligence.
Cain is cursed with his intelligence.
Oh,
You've been talking to your dad?
yes.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with Ibn Arabi, the
Van,
Sufi teacher?
vaguely, yes. I'm aware of his existence. I've watched some videos about him. That's about the extent of it.
So, Sufism is my favorite, I guess, flavor of religion is what I would call it.
Sure. Ancient wisdom tradition.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically mystic, like Islam.
Sure.
But he has a saying, outer hunger without inner annihilation is cosmetic.
Very true. Outer hunger without
Yeah,
inner
basically,
annihilation
like,
is
if you
cosmetic.
fast, you can't leave your ego intact. Like,
So something I've come to realize, kind of going off of that, is that when you think about the things that we think about in Gamma Alpha Pi, the universe and AI and all of that, the truth that we come up with tends to be depressing.
It depends on your perspective. It depends on your perspective. So if you take the trajectory as it is, it can be depressing. Though on the back of the challenge coin, I've got all the great empires of time. And they have all fallen. Every one of them. It doesn't mean that we have to follow the suit. And if it does not mean that mankind has to end. Every day, as individuals, families, communities, civilizations, and a globe, we're faced with a myriad of choices. And those choices will become our future.
I mean, the same thing can be said about religion, and you might not like me saying this, but you already know I come from an agnostic point of view, is that religion, especially modern Christianity, based off of Romans, which used Christianity to tax poor for hope during war.
Yeah. Every political system, yep. Every political system has used every religion at some point to manipulate the population. It's absolutely true.
Right.
If you look at the Ethiopian Bible versus the King James Bible, you'll notice some fairly stark differences. If you look at the output of the Council of Nicaea compared to the Ethiopian Bible, you'll notice some fairly stark differences. They're not insane, but there are some positions that are definitely more pro-government.
It reminds me of the Hunger Games, which yes, the Hunger Games is a fiction,
Yeah.
but like, how can you have fiction if it's not based on truth? If you
Art's
watch
based
the
on
movie,
life.
one of the scenes has President Snow talking about it's talking about utilizing the Hunger Games based off of hope, because if they just wanted, they could go out and just kill 24 people every year, but they host the games in order for hope, and without hope, the entire government system fails.
Yeah. Societal structure fails. All societies require sacrifice. The question, the big dividing paradigm is the sacrifice self-chosen or is the sacrifice imposed? Under a king, the sacrifice is imposed. The supposition under Western civilization is the sacrifice is voluntary. How voluntary is it? But that's a supposition anyways.
So there's, like everything else in the universe, there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance between good and evil, yin and yang. You
Yep.
have to have a balance between sacrifice and self-righteousness. You have to have, you have to sacrifice the few to save the many.
Generally.
Whether or not it's a monetary sacrifice, physical sacrifice, still a sacrifice involved.
Yeah. Without hope and aspiration, the probability of the individual making the sacrifice drops significantly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love pessimistic philosophy. Like, Schopenhauer is great. Who's the guy who's the famous like antinatalist guy? I don't know
I
who
want
that
to
is.
say it's Kierkegaard, but I know it's not
Uh,
Kierkegaard. It was the guy who was a very prolific writer when he was young and then got very jaded when he was old. I can see his face, but I can't tell you his name. What was your point? The name is a little less.
hold on, I'll find him. Okay, well, essentially, what I'm saying is that, like, whenever it comes to hope, like, it's essentially you gotta limit your consciousness somewhere. Like, everyone has to do that. That's just how life works. If you don't, then you just go insane. Uh, that's where the whole, like, spiritualism stuff comes from. It's where you decide to limit your consciousness. Because if you go, like, the problem with all the, pessimistic philosophers is that they all go out the same way. They all kill themselves. Because
Yeah.
when everything's pointless, unless you like find something like every so-called pessimistic philosopher that didn't kill themselves limited their consciousness and found some sort of hope somewhere. I mean, that's what's so fun about cosmic horror. Like, yeah, I think we're in a post-theist world right now. We gave an entire generation a hammer in order to like teach them. We taught them how to think critically and how to destroy religion.
Oh,
We
son,
didn't give
this
them
isn't new.
anything to replace it with.
Friedrich Nietzsche was
Huh?
Friedrich Nietzsche went on about this. God is dead and we killed him. Dot dot dot. How will we ever wash the stain of this
Yeah,
blood from
and
our
he
hands?
mourned. Yeah, and he mourned over that. But I mean,
He did. Why
like
did he mourn over
now
that?
we taught an entire generation. What, Nietzsche?
Yeah.
That
Why?
wasn't an exclamation of joy.
No, it was a lament. I totally agree. Why was that a
Yeah,
lament?
because the like modern era with like the technology and the new things coming out has pushed the mystic to the side.
I think it was deeper than that. I think he was insinuating or asserting that Christianity was the common operating system of Western civilization. It was the foundation upon which our civil interaction was based. And without it, we're then forced to replace God with whom? Ourselves? He tried with the Ubermensch and failed. Thus spake Zarathustra. Which is odd because he reaches back into Zoroastrianism to create his own god of himself. But whatever. He was an interesting guy. But the
Yeah,
towering.
I mean Zoroastrianism is fun to dive into as well. I mean that's the
Yeah.
precursor of the Abrahamic religions.
I don't know that it was. I think it's tangential. I think if you look at Egyptian religion and Zoroastrianism,
Yeah, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, like everyone knows that that's where the Ten Commandments came from. I mean,
Moses
Moses
was
grew up
raised
with.
in the house of Pharaoh as a priest.
Yep. So he knew the 42 confessions of Mott.
Yeah.
I mean, the 42 confessions of Mott is a much better perspective on, your personal like fuck ups and stuff than the Ten Commandments. Ten Commandments are thou shalt not. Like you can get like, fucking redeemed from that. Like, no, you need to say I have not. You have to take personal responsibility for that shit.
That comes later. Yeah, you have to take personal responsibility of it, then let go. Accept absolution. I would posit for your supposition, and for those of others, that Hermeticism, or actually the root of Hermeticism, became both Egyptian religion and Zoroastrianism. I do agree that
I
the
mean,
Egyptian religion and likely Hermeticism and Zoroastrianism all probably fed into Christianity.
yeah, but the problem with Hermeticism is how much of it is a post,
Construction,
construction.
most of it. Most of it is.
Yeah,
Uh,
but there's a lot of wisdom in it.
yeah, yeah. The swinging of the pendulum and the all is mind and all that stuff, pretty foundational. Uh, I think you can see in nearly all single deity religions flavors of that, and even to an extent, even in Buddhism, you can see some touches of Hermeticism in there. But is it because it's from Hermeticism, or are they just universal truths? And that's
I think it's just universal. I mean, Taoism and Sufism, like, they have a lot of similar concepts.
they
I
do.
mean,
I like
the
Taoism.
understanding is like the hardest one to grasp. Because, like, I mean, Taoists, they spend years working on one sentence that holds, a lifetime knowledge. But you could tell someone that sentence and they won't understand, the meaning or the depth behind it until they reach the understanding themselves.
It's true in all religions. It's true of all ancient texts. It's true of all ancient wisdom. All wisdom traditions have those depths of profundity. You can't really understand any of the books
Yeah.
until you've read them 3, 4 times, and that's the beginning of study. The beginning.
So, kind of going off key, thing I've been wanting to talk about is that I've mentioned it before in Gamma Alpha Pi, but I didn't really understand it. I've been noticing in life, if it's, God or fucking Buddha or energy or whatever you want to call it, gives you the trials and tribulations, and it gives you one lesson at a time to learn. So lately, that has been, well, right now, it's intelligence. It's seeking intelligence and the flaws that are behind intelligence. For that, it was learning patience. And I've just been noticing, you know, that there's a trend of a certain lesson through, it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months, then all of a sudden that lesson shifts. And now there's a different lesson that I've been noticing throughout, my day-to-day experiences.
Okay.
So I just kind of want to dive into that. I don't know if there's, some kind of ism that says, well, this is how it works.
Okay, so I think you need to go to Ecclesiastes to get some stuff out of that.
Yeah,
I mean, Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes and Proverbs. Both of those books, you'll be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes is an underrated book. I would 100% recommend diving into that one.
Whether you're atheist or not, there's value there.
Right. I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic. I'm not saying that there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
I totally 100% agree that there is something out there. However, I don't know what it is, so I can't really tie
Sure.
myself to a specific religion.
Oh, I don't think any of them really know what it is.
I mean, that's why I don't like. Yeah, I mean, in the Bhagavad Gita, that's still my favorite, visualization of God is whenever he asks Vishnu, like, I want to see what you actually look like. And Vishnu's just like, you don't want that smoke. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
You
want to see
can't.
it.
Yeah, it's not a
And
thing
he
you can do.
pushes, and then Vishnu's like, fine, here. And then, like, breaks and brain.
Yeah. God alludes the same thing to Moses, and he passes him. He tucks him into a crack and says, "Avert your eyes, or it'll kill you." At even that, it's going back to
Yep.
the insinuation of the all and Hermeticism. It's beyond if there's a God that we as humans could understand to put in a box and define and describe, probably not a God. If we can conceive it, probably not God. I am a
My
Christian.
current belief is that God is another term.
God's a what now?
My belief right now, this could be wrong, is that God is another term for a like the energy that surrounds us in the universe. God is not a person, it's a noun.
I am. Yeah. The verb, the noun,
Right.
the sphere in which they exist.
Which is the main problem that I have with modern Christianity. I have a few of them. One of them is that it paints God as this big freaking white-haired bearded man in the sky that says, "Hey, I'm watching you and I love you." And the other problem I have is the taxation of hope.
Taxation of hope.
Read the book of John.
John or James.
Well, I mean, the book of John is probably the most, like, uh, I don't know how to put it. It's basically much more of the. How would you describe the book of John? Like, I mean, just the opening of the book of John. Hold on.
In the beginning. Yeah. So John is the Bible in a chapter. It's the all the pointy bits, everything you need to know in one chapter. I say James because you're a logical person. James takes on things very straightforward. Well, John is is essentially the crib notes, right? It's the Spark Notes version. James is the application.
Well, yeah, but it's more of the logos. It's not so much of like
The ethos or pathos.
the God that pushed by the Constantine
Yeah,
translation of the Bible.
yeah. No, I agree with that. If you
I'm
want
gonna
to,
mute myself for a sec, 'cause I got.
it's all right. Well, while you're muted, we'll discover or dive into the next section here. Discovering life, or excuse me, discovering and living your life's purpose. So, I've been talking about finishing up the section on leadership and influence, phases of leadership, public speaking, decision making, integrity and ethical leadership, and handling power and responsibility. Moving into the section on career, finance, and purpose. First section in career, finance, and purpose. Discovering and living your life's purpose. Now, this is not a specific guide. I'm not going to tell you specifically what your life's purpose is in the next few minutes. What I am going to share is how you can understand the tools you need, frameworks that you need to understand or begin to do the work to understand your life's purpose. Your life's purpose is not something that someone can give you, something that can come out of some book, something that can be handed to you. It is something that you have to understand about yourself and then implement. So to that end, discovering and living your life's purpose. Living a purposeful life is one of the most profound and rewarding journeys a person can undertake. It is foundational of personal fulfillment, achievement, and lasting happiness. Many men, particularly as they move through life's phases of son, brother, and father, struggle with the understanding of their true purpose and feel uncertain about the direction they are headed. This uncertainty can lead to feelings of frustration, confusion, and even despair. However, the pursuit of one's life's purpose is not only possible, but it is central to achieving personal mastery, success, and inner peace. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation because they are living the vision someone else has created for their life. This evening, I'll explore the process of discovering and living your life's purpose. I'll examine the philosophical, psychological, and practical approaches to uncovering your calling, provide actionable steps for living life's driven purpose, and offer strategies for staying aligned with your deeper mission, especially through the seasons of life. Pretty tall order, huh? A life without purpose can feel empty and aimless. Without a clear sense of direction, it becomes easy to be swept along by the external forces or lost in the noise of everyday distractions. However, a man with purpose discovers that when a man discovers and aligns with his purpose, he can tap into a wellspring of motivation, drive, and clarity that propels him forward even through the hardest times. Gives direction. Purpose provides a roadmap for life. It clarifies what you should focus on, the decisions that you need to make, and the actions that align with your values. Fosters resilience. Life is full of challenges. When you know your purpose, you are more likely to persevere in the face of adversity, because your purpose gives you a deeper reason to keep going. Increased fulfillment. Purpose is a deep sense of meaning. It allows you to connect your daily actions with larger values, bringing greater satisfaction in what you do. It cultivates impact. A well-defined purpose helps you to contribute to something greater than yourself. It allows you to use your talents and efforts in a way that benefits others, leaving a lasting legacy. Uncovering your life's purpose. Finding life's purpose is often portrayed as a complex and elusive goal, but it can be understood as a process of self-discovery. Your purpose is not something that can be handed to you or found in a book. It must come from within. It requires self-reflection, extreme brutal honesty, and introspection to uncover. Self-reflection. Ask key questions. What are you truly passionate about? What activities make you feel alive when time goes away? What problems do you care about solving? Reflect on moments when you feel deeply connected to your actions or when you experienced fulfillment. These moments can provide clues to your purpose. Identify strengths and skills. Reflect on your natural talents, skills, and strengths. What do you excel at? What do others turn to you for help with? Aligning your purpose with your strengths increases the likelihood of success and satisfaction. Look for patterns in your life. Think back to recurring themes in your life. Have you consistently been drawn to a certain cause, hobby, or set of values? These patterns often point towards your deeper calling. Aligning with your core values. Your purpose must align with your core values. If you are uncertain about your values, take the time to define them. What principles do you live by? What do you believe in deeply? What are you willing to die for? When your actions reflect your core values, you experience a deep sense of alignment and authenticity. Clarify your vision. A life purpose is closely tied to a vision you have for your life. Where do you see yourself in the future? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Create a vision statement for your life, something that captures the essence of your purpose and provides clear, inspiring direction. Your North Star. Consult the wisdom of others. Speak to mentors, trusted friends, and elders who have lived longer, experienced more, and seen different perspectives. Often others can provide insight into what they see as your strengths or talents that you may not fully recognize. Often discovering your purpose involves trying new things, especially when you're younger. Explore different roles, activities, or paths that align with your values and vision. Through experimentation, you'll find your understanding of what truly resonates with you. Section 3. Living in your purpose. Once you've discovered your life's purpose, the next challenge is living in alignment with it. It's not enough to simply know your purpose. You must actively incorporate it into your daily life, your decision-making, and your actions. This requires commitment, discipline, and the courage to stay true to your vision, even when distractions or obstacles arise. Set clear, purpose-driven goals. Break your purpose down into concrete, actionable steps. Set specific, measurable, and time-bound goals that align with your greater purpose. This helps turn abstract ideas into actionable achievements. Make purposeful decisions. Every decision you make should be viewed through the lens of your purpose. Does this action align with your mission? Does it move you closer to the vision of your life? By consistently making decisions aligned with your purpose, you create a life of coherence and meaning. Cultivate habits that support your purpose. Your influences become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your life. Develop daily habits that reinforce your purpose. This can include things like dedicating time each day to work towards your goals, reading and learning about your passions, and surrounding yourself with people who support your mission. Practice patience and persistence. Living your purpose is not always easy. There will be setbacks, distractions, and moments of doubt. Trust that living in alignment with your purpose is a long-term journey. Stay persistent and be patient with yourself. Navigate the challenges that come your way. Serving others with your purpose. One of the most fulfilling aspects of living your purpose is serving others. Use your purpose to improve the lives of those around you, whether it's your family, your community, or the world at large. Your purpose is not only about your personal growth, it's about making a positive impact on others. Stay open to growth. Your purpose may evolve over time as you grow and change. Stay open to new experiences, perspectives, and lessons. Life is a dynamic journey. The only constant is God and change. And your purpose may take on new layers or directions as you continue to develop. Overcoming common barriers. Fear of failure. Fear often holds us back from pursuing our purpose. The fear of failure, rejection, or judgment can paralyze us. Embrace failure as part of the journey, learning from mistakes instead of letting them stop you. The master has failed more than the apprentice has tried. External expectations. Society or familial pressure can sometimes lead us to pursue paths that don't align with our true purpose. Remember that your purpose is yours alone. Trust your inner voice and stay true to yourself. Lack of resources. Sometimes you may feel that the lack of resources, time, or support to live your purpose. Start with small steps. You don't have to do everything at once. Every action you take in alignment with your purpose counts. Distractions and procrastination. Life's distractions can pull us away from our purpose. Stay disciplined and establish routines that set boundaries and protect time for meaningful activities. The legacy of living your purpose. Teach and mentor others. As you gain clarity on your purpose, you can help others discover theirs. Share your knowledge and experiences and be a source of guidance for younger generations. Making a lasting impact. Living in alignment with your purpose allows you to contribute to the world in a way that transcends your own life. Your legacy is built on the lives that you've touched and the positive change that you've made. Discovering and living your life's purpose is not a one-time event, but a continual process of growth, introspection, and action. It requires commitment, courage, and resilience. However, the rewards of living purpose-driven life are immeasurable. Fulfillment, clarity, and impact that extends far beyond your individual life. By discovering your purpose and aligning your actions with your values and living with intention, you can navigate the phases of life with a sense of meaning and direction, leaving behind a legacy of service, wisdom, and positive influence. What'd you think, new guy? You're well read. Anything useful?
All right. Well, I'm taking some notes. Give me a second.
Taking notes. Look at you.
All right. So, I mean, hold on. I had something from John. All right. So, yeah, when I was talking about Logos and John,
Yeah.
yeah, essentially, like the teachings. So I go back to Sufi teachings a lot. So in Sufism, they say the soul already knows why it exists.
It does.
So, you don't choose purpose, you clear space so it can move through you.
That's a good way to
I don't
put
agree
it.
with that because I honestly don't know my purpose.
But so what he's saying and what I'm saying are the same ends with different paths to arrival. Your purpose is within you. You have been given gifts, or you have talents, skills, and proclivities. Those talents, skills, proclivities, and interests will tell you what your purpose is if you listen. He's saying through Sufism, you clear space and let it come through you. You let it be born of you, of who you are naturally. Saying much the same thing in a different way.
So that's like in Isaiah, he says, "You shall be called the repairer of the breach." So purpose heals the breaches. I mean, in Sufism, let's see. So there's a question. It's something along the lines of, life seems more ordered when I am present.
Yeah, probably.
It's essentially, yeah. So it's essentially saying that like your inner alignment needs to be coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Know who you are and live that
In
way.
my case, so I feel like I have been exposed to a lot of different things, and I have a hard time deducing what I excelled at and what I didn't. So how can somebody like me find out what their meaning is?
So
Uh,
in Sufism, there's a question you ask yourself: is where did life move through me today without effort?
I traveled a lot. That's it.
I mean, yeah, but like, in what ways were you able to, like, so you don't think about your legacy, you don't think about all these things. Like, I mean, in Ecclesiastes, they break all of that down. I mean, who is it? Is it Colette? How do you, what's the guy's name in Ecclesiastes, the
Solomon.
arguer?
It's King Solomon, bro.
Well, yeah, but he refers to himself as something.
Oh,
Colette, I believe, right?
I don't think so. Well,
Let
now I'm
me Google it
curious.
real quick.
Yeah, now I'm curious. I don't think he refers to himself as Colette. So,
So what if my purpose is to find my purpose?
so that is part of your purpose, right? And that's part of where you are in this phase of life. That's part of the reason it's Gamma Alpha Pri, son, brother, father. You're at the you're in the brother phase, the kind of the end of the individuation and the beginning of the self-discovery, right? And part of this phase is discovering who you are. You're just kind of solidifying right now. How old are you? 22?
I'm 20.
20. Yeah. So you're you're still really just solidifying into something concrete that continues to change even after that. But you're still really discovering yourself. And part of that evolution is understanding your purpose, understanding who you are.
Yeah, it's Colette.
So one thing that I've kind of been, people keep telling me like, "Oh, you're an artist." I'm like, "Well, I can't draw very well." And they're like, "Well, you can play guitar." I'm like, "Well, that's not really art, and I'm not very good at it." But people keep saying like, "You're an artist."
Well,
I
so
don't like agree with it.
an artist isn't necessarily what is art?
Art is uh, creativity is art. Creative, um, like creative entertainment,
I've heard
I
art
guess would be my best.
defined as the communication without words, the communication of a thought, feeling, or idea without conventional speech. Poetry is art, songs are art, sculpture is art, painting is art, music is art. Do you feel yourself a communicator?
Um, oh, I don't have any original pieces, so I guess not.
Do you find expression or resonance with others' pieces?
Yes,
Okay. Do they speak to you loudly?
in some cases, yeah,
So maybe there's some truth in it. Sometimes others can see us better than we can see ourselves.
that's true too. I mean, it might be, the what do they call it? Like self-deprecating.
Could
I
be.
don't know, but
Yeah.
like, I don't. Last night, for instance, one of our other roommates, he was like, "Do you mind if I record you? Like, this really like hits me deep," and I'm like, "I'm not that good."
So my brother is an extremely gifted guitarist. Been playing for a very long time. He was a extremely gifted musician in general. Taught himself piano in a week. His first song was for Elise. And to this day, he'll tell you that he never really played a note of music. Most artists that are really good can't see themselves that way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you feel
But
it?
like, what do you mean?
When you play, do you feel it?
Sometimes I feel a lot of different things. I feel, anger when I miss a note. I feel um satisfaction when I can play up a song.
But do you ever feel what you play?
You know, uh, I guess kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You may be an artist and don't know
Uh,
it. And that just may be a part of your purpose. It may not be your whole thing. It may just be a part of who you are. Maybe something you enjoy.
but like in the um, what do you call it? In the sense of like work, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be. Like, there's kids my age, they're like, well, I'm a welder and that's what I'm gonna be. And I'm like, I don't have that towards any like specification.
So I screwed up real badly and I let the opinions of others try and assign my purpose. My dad was in construction. My grandfather was in construction. Uncles were in construction. So I'm supposed to be in construction, right?
Right.
And I went after it really, really hard. And I had some proclivity to it and I was pretty good at it. Destroyed my body doing it. I don't want this. I never wanted this. This is not who I am. It's not. Can I do it? Yeah. Can I do it and make money? Yeah. Am I good at it? Also, yeah. But do I want it? Does it bring me joy? Does it bring me peace? No.
So have you found that thing that does make you peace?
Yes. And looking back across all of the all the things that I've done, there is a certain sense of pride in some of the buildings, air traffic control towers and churches and monuments and even the prisons and stuff because they're neat buildings. Not necessarily what they're used for, but they were kind of neat to build and they're interesting buildings. The construction principles and techniques and whatnot used to construct them is they're pretty intense. Or the telecommunications
Well,
stuff, the wild stuff that I've done in telecom. It's neat to have been a part of that. But
so what have you found self purpose in?
I was getting to that. What I remember from every job, there was at least one guy, and there was usually more than one, that I was able to help. That was going through something like what I had gone through. And I was able to help them improve their lives, to change their trajectory, to make their life a little bit better. Those are the things that I remember. The moments where you see hope return to a man's eyes. Those are
Yeah.
the things
So
that give me the,
you found purpose in teaching life lessons.
helping other men. And so I am here. Here am I. Send me. I have found my purpose, and I am living it.
So what was your um how did you get to that point? At what point did you start saying like, I actually enjoy doing this, this gives me purpose?
So when I started in construction, I thought I started as a laborer on a jackhammer. And I was of the tribe and the ilk and the mindset that if you work really hard and if you're very smart, good things will happen in your life. You will get ahead. And it's not that I haven't improved my situation. When I moved out of my parents' house, I had nothing. The car that I was driving and a few clothes. And so I have improved my situation in life. That is true. But it has not been what I was promised. Nothing like it. I took my value as how hard I could work. And I set my sights on being the hardest worker on any job site without question. I will work harder. I will work longer. I will carry more. I will do more. Period. And I did that for a long time. And that's how I measured my worth and my worthwhileness of existence even. I was very self-loathing, very self-hating. I realized in my early 20s, I was looking around, I was like, hey man, there ain't no old laborers. Uh-oh, I better do something. Better learn some stuff. So I started learning layout and survey and whatnot. And I'd grown up in construction, so I knew a lot of the carpentry trade already. I'd already been doing it for quite some time. So pivoted, started running jobs. Then I realized fairly quickly that there's no magic at the top. None of these people, when you're young, you think all these adults know what's going on. No, they don't. Same thing's true in companies. You think when you're on the low, a new guy coming in or the bottom of the totem pole, you feel like these guys at the top, they know what's going on and they've got everything under control. No, they don't. They have no fucking idea. They're winging it. Most of them are completely full of shit. They don't even know what the words mean. They're just got the most bravado and a big bank account, swinging things around. It's disgusting when you get out there, actually. Started my own construction.
There are no adults in the room.
There are no adults in the room, man. Very, very few adults and very, very few rooms. So started my own construction company. 2008 comes, that all goes crashing to the ground. But I had an opportunity to pivot into telecom. But before that crashed into the ground, I was able to get nationally ranked. I was a Class 2 superintendent at 23, which is pretty special. Most men don't make Class 2 superintendent. Most men definitely don't get there by the time they're 23. Then I started my own construction company, and by 27, I was doing over $1 million a year. So I was traveling all over the country building mega churches. I was doing pretty well for myself. And I really thought that I achieved something. That 2008 showed me that it is all vapor. It is all smoke. 2009 gave me the opportunity to get into telecom. My goal in telecom, I'm starting to evolve by this time. I've gone through beginnings of a spiritual evolution, beginnings of a mental evolution, and started to deal with some of my own internal issues. But I had already come back from severe depression and alcohol and drug addiction, and taken on quite a bit of learning along the way. So I was able to teach other folks both practically, skills and trade, and then also help them with life lessons, how to not fuck yourself so bad, right? Or how to get out of bad situations, because I got myself out of bad situations multiple times. Lost everything in a fire by this point, and been through some shit. So anyways, got into telecom. My goal in telecom became, I'm going to become world class in telecom. And I did that to the point where I'm getting called by the White House, and I'm consulting for DARPA and doing cool shit that I can't talk about. And then I realized that mountain is also hollow, right? So I'm standing there in the rubble. I've still got the rubble of what I thought my life was going to be at first, before I broke my back. And then I got the rubble of construction, and now I've got the rubble of telecom, and I'm surveying across this valley of dry bones, as they say. What does it all mean? Vanity to Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, it is all vanities. There is nothing but vanity under the sun. Eat, drink, and be merry. What does it all mean? I realized all the mountains, all the pursuits for me were hollow. Neat stuff, but it was hollow. So then
He who increases knowledge increases sorrow.
Indeed. So I look back through all of that, back to that lens of chaos and history. What was it that was really fulfilling? What did I really enjoy? What really filled me up? What really lit me on fire? There was two things. One, there was a few times, and I just mean instances, where the world paused for just a moment, and I felt zen. Is the only thing I can really explain it as. But the most common thread was those moments when I saw hope return to a man's life. When I saw hope return to his eyes. Yeah, that's it. I've gone through some shit. And I cursed it when I was going through it. Even God a few times. Why would you put me through this? Why would you put me back on the anvil again? Why? Why do I have to go through the fire again?
I feel like a lot of stuff comes back down to the trials and tribulations.
Yep. Yep. And the more men I talk to, the more I realize that my story is not all that unique.
Knowledge wounds, communion heals.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's
right.
like so whenever I first saw Aaron for the first time, we were smoking weed one night, and he explained something to me that I hadn't really thought about before. Was Planet of the Apes. And one of the scenes they talk about single monkey alone is a dead monkey, but a group of monkeys, well, that's a strong group of monkeys. Or it's like the thing with a bundle of sticks. You take one stick, it's easy
Yeah.
to break. You take a bundle of sticks, it's harder to break.
Yep. Yep.
You
So what I see a lot of times, like you said, like in business, either in business or construction or whatever, is that there's these men that try to do it by themselves because they think if they um, if they make themselves stand out, that they'll get to the top faster. But it's not true.
And there's nothing at the top.
I mean, it can be. I mean, I'm not talking about once you get to the top. I'm talking about you come like the process of getting up there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like I was even talking to one of Gordon's friends, and he said to basically don't be the popular guy, and stand out by yourself, and you'll get up there. And as much as I appreciate the the talk, I disagree because I feel like the more I can get to know the guys around me, the better we can work together, and the more we can achieve.
You are exactly
when you
right.
know yourself, you know the one who knows you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's super true. Super deep, but super true. You're very right, brother. If you get to know the guys around you to build relationships, it's all about relationships. It's all relationships. The most popular guy in school, they did a 15-year study on the popular kid, and they realized it's not the smartest kid or the most athletic kid or the richest kid or even the coolest kid or the best looking kid. The kid that's the most popular in school, the guy, the reason that they're the guy is they made everybody feel good about themselves. They genuinely cared about the people around them. They were the most caring and the most gregarious person. A little hard. Gregarity is hard for an introvert, but caring isn't. People are very lonely. Men were told that we have to do this alone, and we're not a man unless we do. Nothing is further from the truth. If you look back across the epochs of time, it is families and communities that have gotten us this far. Generations of men and women helping and aiding the generations before and the generations coming behind.
Not only that, it's the literal like if you believe in science, the basis behind humanity is that we survived as a group. We weren't lone predators. We would hunt and we'd track and we'd commune, and that's how we survived
Yeah.
back in the Stone Age.
Now we literally need the tribe for a lot of reasons. As they the crazy Eastern Europeans with the mustache and the fancy duds, they did studies with babies, and they found that if you a newborn baby, even if it's fed and has all the nutrient it needs, if it is not touched, it dies. There's an old African proverb: a person that does not feel the warmth of the tribe will burn it down to feel its warmth. I think I butchered that, but
You get the gist.
yeah, you get the idea. The outcast will.
Even even the story of Jesus. Another thing I have about Christianity is like, oh, it's just this Jesus guy. He went out by himself, and he was, the only person that sacrificed himself. But no, he washed feet. He got the praise of so many other people, which helped him spread the word.
Without the apostles, it wouldn't have
He
worked.
didn't just go out like he didn't just go out and say, "Hey, God is real," and expect everybody to listen. No, he did favors. He worked
Loved
for other
people.
people. He was basically brought himself up to slavery so that he could spread the word.
Yep. He loved them completely sacrificially.
So for like, I don't like. I know that it's one of your friends, Gordon, and I don't want to like, say he's wrong, but for him to try to sit me down and be like, "Oh, you need to cut ties with everybody, and be a freaking lone wolf survivor and focus 100% on what you're doing and fucking fuck everybody else." No, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
I think what more of what he's saying is like, don't care about others' perception of you. That's not, none of that matters. Like, if you're, that's what I said earlier about what moves through you with least resistance is like, what your purpose is. That's what you find to be important to you. That's what you do. Like, you need to. So one thing that he didn't go into that I think he should have is checks. Essentially, just have things that like, you know, a phrase that I like is "this too is included," because my core philosophy, I mean, I say it all the time. You know, everything that we perceive, everything like our entire reality is persistent hallucination by
Yes.
electrical impulses from our senses.
Yes.
So like, I can't assume anyone else's reality is anything like mine. So by saying this is included, I'm saying that whatever is happening, whatever like fate is throwing at me, it's part of my reality. I just gotta accept it.
Not beat yourself up with false expectations or the lack of fruition of
Yep.
false expectations.
Yeah, I don't care what people think of me. I wave funny at people all the time at work. I find it entertaining as hell. I don't care.
Yeah. It's as a young man, it is good for you to go as hard as you can now. Before you get a wife and children, run. Know what it is to run. Find your limits. I think it was Sophocles said it is a shame for a man to not know the capabilities of his own body. It is. It's a shame. Go out there and be a wild animal.
I mean, Rumi says, "Stop acting so small. You are the universe in a static motion."
Yes. Yeah. Go be as big as you can. Go get it. Go get it, young man.
Yeah, don't let your ego take you over. Just do it to do it. I mean, who is it? Is it the Greek? Is it Zohan the Greek?
Could be.
Hold on. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that just doesn't give a shit.
There was
Zorba. Zorba the Greek.
sort of the Greek. Okay.
Yeah, Zorba the Greek. It's
So
the
another thing
iconic
about
character
like kind of
from
going off of that. Another thing going off of that is the difference between self-esteem and ego.
Yeah. Super important.
So self-esteem, at least from what I've seen, self-esteem is being able to say, "I can do this." Ego is saying, "I'm the only one that can do this." I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree. I thought you were talking about Dionysus with Zorba the Greek. Maybe right there. Uh, I agree with.
no Zorba the Greek. He's so it's a novel. There's a film about it. It's a larger than life, free spirited Greek peasant who embodies living life to the fullest, teaches a reserved narrator about passion, love, and dancing in the city of Crete. It's a great book.
I think Pythagoras also told the Roman soldiers to get fucked when they showed up because he was doing math. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But back to the overarching theme. As a young man, go for it as hard as you can, but don't do the lone wolf thing. Find mentors. So if you have a general direction that you want to go, or even if it's just your values, right? If nothing else, spend the time to understand your values. What is important to you? And from understanding your values, you can start moving towards purpose. But in understanding, even if it's just your values, find some folks that you admire for the way that they live their values, right? If it's not, if you want to be a hockey player and you have the opportunity to hang out with Wayne Gretzky, go hang out with Wayne Gretzky. It's same thing is true, right? So if you value bravery or courage and you know somebody that's brave, try and spend some time with them. If you value honesty and integrity and you know somebody that you consider very honest and has high integrity, go spend time with them. And then if there's some part of your purpose that you really want to pursue, it could be a trade. It could be something that you're extremely gifted at, a musician or whatever. Spend time with them. If it's musicians and you have the opportunity to travel with other musicians, do it. Do it. You're young and free. Do it. Go forth, young man. Go with all that you are. But don't forsake relationships, and definitely don't forsake mentors.
I mean, you could say that everybody's a mentor, whether good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have...
Like you said, fate has a way of throwing people at you that may allow you to look into yourself and see how similar you are to that person, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to Ecclesiastes. I mean, so Ecclesiastes breaks down ego fairly well. I mean, it relates wisdom to ego when it demands control. I mean, it shows up in needing to be right, needing clarity before acting, identifying with insight. Like it's
Mental
despair,
masturbation.
huh?
Mental masturbation.
It is mental masturbation.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Luciferian
Yeah,
intellect.
like it. Yep. I mean, that's what the ego is.
Yeah.
It's basically just don't worry about all that stuff. Like learn instead of learning what to do, learn how to.
Learn how to do. Seek wisdom at all costs, for it is more valuable than precious gold or rubies.
Yeah, I mean, say it's happening through me,
Yeah.
not because of me.
Yep. And there is nothing new under the sun. All is vanity, vanity of vanities. Therefore, eat, drink, and love others, for that is all that there is. Both things are true.
Yeah, when this, hold on, it's the Rumi. Alright, yeah, Google this real quick. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. It's just the let it fade. Stop feeding time into it.
Let what fade?
Ego,
Oh, yeah.
let it fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a certain set of things that you can't talk about in public that are questionable activities. If you ever find yourself in that inclination, study it deeply before you do it. And if you pursue the ego death as something that will change, there's a few different ways to achieve ego death. None of them are easy. None of them are painless. There's no easy way to go down that road. But dealing with your ego may be one of the more important things you do. I would say it probably is.
yeah, I mean, I tend to microdose once a year.
Yeah? Good old-fashioned heroic trip.
Oh no, I don't do a heroic dose. I just, allow my neural pathways a little bit more plasticity for about a week.
There's quite a bit of research showing that it actually grows psilocybin actually grows new neural pathways at an astounding rate. And it can not only generate new neural pathways, but it can also heal significant brain damage from PTSD and physical trauma.
Yep. I keep up with the research.
Yeah. It's kind of, I mean, I knew.
I actually have a buddy in the MAP program.
Yeah.
For the people at TikTok, don't do drugs.
Yeah, no, don't. The research is interesting. Yeah. It's pretty astounding. Well, gentlemen.
Whether or not you perceive psilocybin as a drug, that's on you. However,
Yeah.
don't do dumb shit with drugs.
Yeah,
Because
no.
that can become bad hole.
Yeah. That one, any of that group, actually, if you're not ready, don't do it. Do not do it. It can get so ugly so fast. It can get so bad so fast. It's not something to play with. None of it's something to play with, but
Yep. Nope. I don't push anyone towards it.
no, neither do
It's
I.
a personal thing.
No. You really got to understand what's going on, and you really have to have people that you can trust very, very highly if you're going to undertake that. Talking about mentors,
And if you are going to do it, make sure you research it.
extensively. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not something to take lightly at all.
Also,
Don't
look
put
out for the
anything in your
watchers.
body if you don't know what it's going to do.
Don't interact with the watchers. That's it.
The Watchers.
Yep. I actually have an old roommate. He took a heroic dose, and he said that he met one of the beings. I believe it's the Jinn. And he did not take the Path of Solomon. He didn't ask for wisdom. He was a kid that said that he wanted to sit behind a desk and collect a check for the rest of his life. About 2 weeks later, he ended up getting diagnosed with a rare form of bone disease where his bones start fusing together.
Ouch.
He lived the
Damn.
rest of his life in a wheelchair behind a desk,
Collecting a paycheck.
collecting. Yep.
Careful what you ask for.
So yeah,
It's like
don't talk to the watch.
what do they call it? The monkey's paw?
Yep.
That's kind of interesting to think about, actually. Do some research on that.
There's all kinds of stuff out there. The monkey's paw, down this rabbit hole, the Watchers, the clockwork, what do they call them? Clockwork elves.
Yep. Clockwork Elves. I mean, like the whole thing now. I watched Tucker Carlson's podcast actually recently, and they were talking about uh, the mechanical entities that they've been seeing since the 60s,
Yeah.
and how they believe that a demon is coming through AI.
Yeah. Some of that is not totally unfounded. I think some of it is definitely the application of individual perspective and worldview frames being applied to something that they don't fully understand. But I don't think they're
Yep.
maybe completely off base. There's some studies going on elsewhere in the world where they figured out how to do DMT in a long drip. So instead of a 10 to 15 minute journey, they're holding these people in there for hours at a time. And those folks, yeah. Oh, those folks are reporting
I wonder what they see.
a lot of the same things, interestingly. And they go back to a lot of the same places, and they have common places around the world, which is wild.
Yep.
So they're starting to document being under so much and so long. They're starting to document what they're finding. And some of what they're finding is eyebrow raising.
So, me and my father had a conversation about that because one of the similarities between us is that we have very vivid dreams.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and we figured out that we have a person that enters both of our dreams on occasion, and he kind of reminds me of the Hat Man, but it's different. He's just a tall, pale-faced man with a hat, like a I guess I might be the Hat Man, but and he just the encounters that we've had are very similar. He comes up to you and he's got a smile on his face and he reaches out his hand and he takes you somewhere.
That's interesting.
And that's whenever I first met him. And I've had those dreams since, I was a kid and there was no previous, talk about it, no nothing. So there was no outlying factors that could have played into both of us having the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys hadn't been really talking, you haven't been sharing about this, yet you've had a common experience separated by distance and time. Interesting.
So I can't explain that.
No.
I don't know what that is. It's fucking weird. I'm not saying I don't like it. I think it's fucking cool. I think that's and I find that the unexplainable is fucking awesome, especially when it happens in real life.
Yeah. I enjoy the unexplainable as well. So I have dreams that aren't normal. I've actually found that a lot of people have this experience though. We have dreams that then come to pass. And I don't mean like you have a sense of deja vu. I mean like
Yeah,
I'll have a 3 second or 6 second or 9 seconds,
premonitions.
yeah, snippet of reality, and then 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 months later, that happens. I'll have the understanding in my mind.
And I know it's not deja vu because I can predict what's going to happen next.
Yes. Yeah.
I can say like this person's about to say this, and they do.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yep. I've had them all my life.
Another fact that I've seen is that a lot of people will mouth the words that you're saying on a subconscious level. They'll mouth the words that you're saying before you say them.
Yeah. Or you know what someone else is thinking. You feel someone else enter a room. You can feel someone looking at you from across the stadium.
Mhm.
How can you feel someone else looking at you?
So there are research studies. So, and I don't know how, what the basis on this is. I remember seeing it somewhere, but there is research studies showing that the human brain is starting to develop where we'll be able to communicate with each other telepathically in the next 1,000 years.
Man, I'm not 100% sure. So, New Guy touched on something. Everything that we actually perceive, we don't actually directly perceive anything. Everything that we think we perceive is actually an interpretation of a meat wad that's mostly fat and salt water sitting inside of a bone vault, riding between our ears. That meat wad made of fat and salt water really only perceives about 13%, 17%, depending on who you want to talk to, of what's available to perceive. We make up 60% of what we think we perceive, and we're only able to perceive 13%, 17% of what's actually happening. So most of our existence is, I mean, technically all of our existence is made up in our mind, but even most of that, what we perceive as hard facts or scientifically observed things, aren't real. Only a small part of them are real. It's actually pretty freaking wild.
So something that I feel like should be researched on this topic is pack mentalities in animals, like how a pack of
Hierarchies?
wolves can travel as a group, even though they're on a. You take one wolf, and it's just that wolf biologically, but it can communicate without words to the rest of its pack. And they have the ability to, to unanimously choose your alpha and your beta, and then you can also kick out groups. You can kick out that wolf from the group on a unanimous level without the need for uh, communication.
Well, there's communication on some level, right? It's just not necessarily one that we fully understand, maybe.
But the fact that there are politics within a pack of wolves is crazy.
And flocks of geese, and schools of fish, pods of whales,
Exactly. And dolphins too.
and dolphins. Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot more about dolphins
Thanks for all the fish.
because dolphins, they say that they're potentially smarter than humans
Yeah.
from what we've seen because they're one of the only species that have a language.
That's one of the most
They can
encouraging.
actually communicate with each other.
Yeah. One of the most interesting and I think useful applications of AI is they've applied it to whale and dolphin speech patterns, trying to understand what they're saying. And the rabbit hole
Don't
keeps.
forget about Deep Squeak.
Say what?
Deep Squeak.
Deep.
We can now understand rats. Language of rats.
Really?
Yep, it's called Deep Squeak if you want to look into it. I follow a bunch of researchers that are into machine learning to translate language of animals. I am definitely in that field. It's a really fun field to be in right now.
Sure. Why not? That makes all the sense in the world, honestly. I think checking out cats. I think cats have a whole language system. I think dogs is more about posture and eye contact. I think most of theirs is nonverbal communication, but I think they also have a whole language system. The rats, I wasn't really considering that, but it's not really surprised. They're extremely communal as well. Very large pods. Like they can get into pods of thousands. That's interesting.
Yep.
I wonder.
Definitely look up them laughing.
Rats laughing.
My curiosity is because they have different, brain chemistry and different brains altogether, how they perceive the world, and if we can effectively communicate with these other animals, how much more we can discover within our own,
How much could we learn?
or
Hell yeah, I want a rat army.
Dude, I want to talk with the old species like the tortoises and the blue whales. I bet you they know some shit.
Oh yeah, so off of the Dominican Republic, that's where they have the most research into like communicating with whales.
Yeah.
The Dominican Republic University, they have the biggest research program into that right now.
I bet whales and
we're gonna end up having a trade system with fucking whales.
it's possible. They've been here a lot longer than
I
we
mean,
have.
if they're
Like,
still
hey.
around.
Yeah. It could.
We're gonna tell the fucking dolphins to go take pictures of the Titanic, and they're gonna do so.
Well, they could tell us to pound sand. It could be very much like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We're not. It's the mice and the dolphins that are running the show. We're just the dumb monkeys. We're territorial apes with fucking thermonuclear weapons. That's really all we are. I think Rogan's got that one right.
Or we're gonna get in war with these.
Hell
we're gonna
yeah,
get
I
in
got a
war with these people
background in
because they're
machining.
like, well, you've been killing us all this time. You're just now realizing that you can
They're
communicate with us.
making guns for animals. Yep, I'm definitely gonna be arming animals. I don't know why. I mean, if it kills me, awesome. That's a great way to go out.
Raccoons with handguns seem like a great time. Why not? I'm sure it'll be interesting if nothing else.
It's just crazy how much we don't know.
Yeah.
Which, like I said earlier, is the depressing part is how much we actually don't know, and we don't even consider it until it's discovered. And like, oh, holy shit, this is actually a thing.
Well, so it goes back to the conversation about ego, right? The hubris of man is limitless.
All right.
If we were able to say we don't know, we could eliminate a lot of problems, but we're not. Our egos won't let us do that. Truthfully, if we look at the universe where our period of observation is so limited that we don't have a statistically significant sample to really say much of anything. Our field of view is, again, so limited, we don't really have enough information to say much of anything. We're barely conscious, just barely. We are but toddlers. We only recently learned that the largest organisms on the planet are a mycelia and a birch forest. Largest organisms on the planet, and we just recently learned that these exist. We don't really know anything about our own oceans. We barely understand ourselves. We barely understand the human body and human chemistry. And there's some things we know about it, but we don't really understand it. Our own hubris is limitless. And it gets us in a lot of trouble.
Dolphins have individual names.
Really?
Yep.
By which they call each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a unique name for every dolphin.
Wow.
So I just did a little ChatGPT on it. Dolphins communicate using a rich repertoire of sounds, mainly clicks, whistles, and burst pulsed sounds, which serve different purposes from navigation and hunting to social interaction. The clicks are especially important for echolocation, helping dolphins sense their environment with sound, while whistles and pulses are linked to social messaging and group coordination,
Fancy.
according to PBS. One of the most striking discoveries is that dolphins use signature whistles, unique sound patterns that act like individual names. Dolphins can call each other by these signature whistles, similar to how humans call someone by name, and use them to maintain contact over distance,
Wow.
according to National Geographic. Which is crazy, because before we were thinking that, well, these dolphins are just, fish floating around, hunting and surviving. No, they rape. They're one of the only species that has recreational sex.
And uses recreational
It's
drugs.
crazy.
Yep.
They get high off a puffer.
They do. Pass them around. Like hippies at a...
They play sports with them too.
Yeah. Like hippies with a balloon at a fish concert. Dolphins will pass around a freaking pufferfish. And rats, in fact, do laugh. Rat laughter has a frequency, a series of very fast, short chirps at around 50 kilohertz. This frequency is too high for humans to hear or detect without special equipment.
Yeah, you
I feel like
essentially
birds
need
laugh too.
ultrasonic
I have a
microphones.
personal vendetta against birds.
Yeah.
Squirrels.
It's the squirrels that are going to take over the
Those
earth
fucking
anyways.
Squirrels always fucking do.
Yeah. Watch them closely. They're up to something.
Don't fuck with squirrels.
Well, gentlemen, there's nothing else. As much as I enjoy waxing philosophic about the ramblings of dolphins and rats, I do have things I need to prepare for tomorrow. If there's anything else that,
Yeah, we.
yeah, really appreciate your contribution and time this evening, and hope to see you again sometime. Anything else you'd like to
Yeah.
share or touch on before we take off?
No, that's it. I really just wanted to, get you introduced to Gordon, and if I know y'all are smarter than I am, see what Gordon has to say.
I doubt it's a function of intelligence, brother. It's probably just a matter of greater exposure to more things. We've just read more. Instead of learning to play guitar, we read books.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have met some folks that are genuinely not intellectually capable, but most of the people that I've encountered, it's not a matter of capability. And I've encountered multiple PhDs, like guys with 3 and 4 PhDs. They're not particularly more intelligent. They've just studied one thing much more deeply, or 2 things, or perhaps 3 things, much more deeply. And it is a proxy, though not necessarily a useful one, for intelligence. I know some triple PhDs that can't find their ass with both hands.
Yeah, no. I always say people think I'm smart because, like, my hobbies are just, I like doing interesting things.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it.
I've read a lot of old books, and I've read a lot of reference books, so people think I'm really smart. Y'all watched MASH, or...
Yeah, I just like making things.
Yeah.
And
Part of your purpose.
MASH, the whole TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah. But it's the same as the Kardashians, right? How do you choose to spend your time? How do you choose to spend your time?
Yep. I mean, it has a great theme song too.
It does. Kind of ties back into purpose, right? What is your purpose? All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you again for your time. Hope to see you next week. If not, I'll see you down the road somewhere. Have a wonderful week. Pleasure meeting you, Gordon.
All right, you as well. Have a good night.